Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Raven here. If you didn't know, now you know, and that's legit on period. So you guys are probably like, Raven, you kind of look like ugh today, and you sound like ugh. I think I am coming down with a cold or something. I don't know. I've been like really tired a lot like this past few weeks, and I've been coughing and like ugh. I already tried to film this video a couple times, and I just sound like ew. But today's video is not going to be like my usual videos. I know that I tend to do reaction videos, but when I first created my channel, this channel was surfaced around anything about me. So whatever I wanted to talk about, whether it was my personal experiences, story times, you know, whatever. A lot of people came to my channel because of like my paranormal experiences and things like that, which I have not experienced none of that in a long time. So this whole experience that I'm getting ready to talk about, it kind of like caught me off guard in a sense, but not necessarily. I feel like I kind of was asking for it, but not necessarily. Um, but you guys are still going to get your reaction video, but I just wanted to bring this because this is something that happened to me, and it's kind of was my original content anyways. Anything concerning Raven, I'm going to upload and I'm going to share. So if you're not interested in this, I definitely understand, but for those of you who are and who's been following me for a long time, I appreciate each and every one of you so much. So this is going to be why I quit yoga. Now let me just tell you guys, I have not been like a yogi guru, like never. I was never consistent with yoga. My first time doing yoga was when I was 19. I had to do it in college as a course. Like we had to take a physical education course, and I chose to do yoga. And we did more so a vinyasa and power yoga, which I felt like was so amazing and it felt so good. And I kind of really wanted to stick to doing yoga, but I never did. Like I just didn't. And also, I've been told and heard things throughout my life about how yoga was the work of the devil and that Christians shouldn't be doing it. And I just thought it was weird. But at the same time, I understood where people were coming from, because the simple fact that it is Hinduism and you are doing certain poses like this and doing the and you're chanting, and it kind of also pushed this narrative that you are your own God. So I definitely understood the risk that I was taking going into it, but I felt like yoga to me and how I planned on utilizing yoga in my life was as a fitness aspect, and that was it. And so when I dabbled in yoga here and there, it was always in the sense of for fitness and working out, and that was like it, nothing else, nothing more, nothing less. And it was like, you know, these are just stretches, you know, these are stretches you taught as a child. So I just felt like it just really depended on how deep you get into yoga. Just like when it comes to manifesting, it depends on how deep you get into it that becomes the problem. Like I said, throughout since 2011, I just dabbled here and there with yoga. Never went to a yoga studio, just would always turn on the television and watch whatever is on YouTube, and that was it. Until November 2021, I decided that I really wanted to focus on my fitness again, and like focus on clearing my mind and getting out of my head. And because I've been having this trouble where I just cannot focus. I cannot focus at all. My mind is traveling 250,000 miles per hour, and it just would never be quiet. And when I go to sleep, it takes me forever to fall asleep. And I thought yoga was going to help calm me down and relax, and I could work on my breathing. Also, you're told that there's so many health benefits that comes along with doing yoga. So I'm like, you know what? Let me go ahead and do this. And I started doing yoga about 3 or 4 times a week, and I noticed that I started to feel a lot better. Like when I was going to bed, I was going to sleep like this, and I was just relaxed, and I felt like I was out of my head a lot, especially like during yoga, because they teach you to like whenever you're doing these poses, it is bound for our minds to wander off, but then they tell you to shift it right back to focusing on your breathing. And I started to do that a lot, and I was at calm, especially in Shavasana mode, which is how they end the practice usually. I was always like at peace. I was calm. I was not in my head. And I felt good, you know? Like I really, Shavasana was literally my favorite pose. Like, it's like another word for corpse pose. And I didn't really think of that before. But it was my favorite because that's when I felt the most at like peace. My plan in December, it was like, you know what? I really want to do yoga more often because I found myself like doing yoga multiple times a day. So like sometimes it would be like during my lunch break, I'll do some yoga, and then before I go to bed, if I didn't do yoga when I woke up in the morning or during my lunch break, I would do it like when I got off work. And it tend to be more so vinyasa yoga and yin yoga. Those are my two favorites. And then after that, I'm good. Like I could go on with my day. And I really wanted to make it a daily practice for me. So I thought the best way to do this was by doing yoga with Adrienne's 30-day challenge. On January 1st, 2022, she uploaded a video where it was the introduction to her movement, the 30-day move challenge. And I'm like, okay, well, here it is. This is going to give me that discipline I need so I could do yoga every single day. And when I tell you it was working, yoga became a priority to mine. I wanted to do more and more yoga. And I mean, like, even when I had to do things like edit a video or something, like, okay, this is downloading or this is synchronizing or whatever, let me go do yoga because I know it's going to take a minute for this to, you know, finish. I made it a priority to do it. And I was proud of myself for doing that, you know. But during this time, as I'm doing yoga, I just realized, like, I cannot get out of my head. My mind was traveling all the time, thinking about other things, like outside things, like whether it was food, relationship, family, money, becoming rich, like all this stuff. It was just always traveling. I'm like, okay, like chill, but it wouldn't chill. And I remember January 10th, I wrote in my prayer journal because I write my prayers out to God and have a conversation with him. And so I'm telling him, like, look, God, like, you know, I'm proud of myself for sticking to doing yoga, but I just feel like I'm not getting the full benefit of it because I can't focus. Like, my mind is constantly traveling. And I would ask him for guidance and help me to learn how to focus during yoga. And I wrote this like from the 10th all the way up until the point that January 17th came and this experience happened. On January 17th, it was day 16 of Yoga with Adrienne. I got up from my nap. I went, did yoga, and this was like 9 o'clock at night. So I did the few minutes. I think it hurt. That one was probably like anywhere between her challenges. Her challenges kind of vary anywhere from like 20 minutes to 30 minutes. So I did her challenge, and then afterwards I decided to go do Yin Yoga. So I found a Yin Yoga that was also on YouTube, and I did that. And while I'm doing yoga, it's this thought that's running through my mind talking about how I shouldn't be doing yoga and I need to stop. And I'm just like, what the heck? Like, I'm trying to get out of my head and really enjoy this Yin Yoga. But no, it's just like something's telling me, like, go on YouTube, listen to people's stories talking about why they quit yoga. And when I did, it was like, when I did the search, there was a series of instructors talking about why they quit yoga. A lot of them was talking about, well, I only watched a few videos, but some of them was talking about how they found God, and, you know, they started talking about these positions, like the poses that you were doing, like tree pose, shavasana, child pose, and all that stuff is how it is related to the devil and demons and stuff. And they talk about how this originally formulated in Hinduism. And when you're doing these poses, pretty much you're giving praise to the demons. You're allowing these demons to enter inside of you. And I'm like, here we go. Like, I really just don't believe that 100%, because these poses are poses that we're taught as kids when we're stretching. So I wasn't like really 100% believing it, you know. I'm like, man, like, I don't know what to believe, you know. And people talking about the Bible and all this stuff, and y'all know I'm Christian, grew up in church, dad's a pastor, all that. So I'm like, but I've never seen no actual scripture that up here and said, oh, you can't do yoga because it's the work of the devil. Like, and some people would show scriptures and stuff, and I'm just like, I mean, but this doesn't prove anything, because to me, people have different interpretations of the Bible. And so, I mean, I felt like I'm not going to stop doing yoga unless God tells me, Raven, you need to stop doing yoga. That was my mindset, you know, because all of it was to me was like stretching. Afterwards, I got my prayer journal and I prayed and I asked God to give me the guidance so I can know whether I should quit doing yoga or not. While I'm in the shower, I'm hearing somebody in my apartment. Like, I am hearing noises. And I'm just like in the shower, like, what the heck is this noise? Like, because I never hear noises like that ever. And then I started feeling like someone was in the bathroom with me, like they were on the other side of the shower curtain. And I opened the shower curtain and I looked, nobody's there. And you just feel this like energy just there. So I just left the shower curtain open and I finished showering. And something was telling me, like, text your mother and let her know in case something happens. This is what happened moments prior. And my mom lives in the same apartment complex I do. She lives actually like walk around the other side of the building, like my exact building number, where it's the same. She's obsessed with me, okay? She's really not obsessed with me, but I think she is obsessed with me. I don't know. But anywho's, but I just like brushed it off because my phone was in the living room. So I finished getting dressed and all that stuff. And it was like about 10:30 at night. And honestly, I had this feeling that something was going to happen that night. Something was going to happen. It was this strong feeling, and I knew it. And I was like, I can't be in the dark. Like, I knew I could not be in the dark. And I have a humidifier in my room, and it's a light that's on it. So I had left it on, and it was like a night light type deal. And I just laid there on my side, and something was like, text your mother and let her know that in case something happens, this is what happened leading up to it. And I'm just like, Raven, you're just tripping. Let it, like, whatever, let it go. Then something told me to go lock my car door because I left my car door unlocked. And I went, locked my door, came back, got in bed. Then something said, go lock your door. You left your front door unlocked. And I'm like, I remember, like, putting my keys on my door handle. Like, I know I locked my door. And I felt like, Raven, just get out of your head. You're being extra. You're being paranoid right now. And then I just fell straight to sleep. 1 o'clock in the morning. I am asleep. I am woken up to a single raindrop hitting my skylight. So when it rains in my apartment, like, I could hear the rain hitting my skylight. And sometimes it'll wake me up, sometimes it don't. But this night, it was not raining outside. I heard a raindrop hit my skylight. And at that moment, I felt my soul outside of my body. And it went back in. It was like one of those moments in a movie where you're like, so it's like, you know, like, I felt my body, like, I felt my soul go back into my body. And, but don't cry because I feel it trying to come. I felt it, and I was like, whoa, what the heck was that? Like, I'm just, like, laying there in confusion, like, what was that? And I was like, God, was that your way of telling me, like, I shouldn't be doing yoga? And I was like, look, all I wanted you to do was just yell, say yes or no. I didn't want no demonstration. Next thing I know, I am in pain, y'all. My stomach was hurting. Like, hold on, I'm about to show you. Right here. Right there. This little glop right there, my stomach was hurting so bad. That little circle, that's it. And it was hurting so bad. I thought that, like, oh my gosh, it's about to be one of those nights. And I looked at the time, it was 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, shoot, the last time I had beef, like, I had got food poisoning. So I'm thinking, like, you know, because I had beef that night before. Well, I had beef earlier in the day for dinner, that I thought that, oh man, like, I can't eat beef. Maybe I have some type of allergic reaction. I don't know. Like, I was just thinking it was weird. But it was just that little section that was hurting, not my whole stomach. And so I went to my bathroom to get my trash can just in case I have to throw up. And as I'm walking back to my room, y'all, this pain in that little area was hurting so much worse. And it started to feel like something was like pulling, like someone like was digging their hand into my body trying to pull out my organs or something. And I'm just like, you know, like, you know, doing all that. In my head, I'm like, please help me, Jesus. And next thing I know, like, that glove that was right there in the, like, that little circle, it came right up. Like, I threw it up, like, out of nowhere. And you guys probably think I sound crazy or whatever. Like, you just had to throw up. It was literally, it's like, you know, when you got something caught in your throat and it's just sitting there, you could feel where it starts and where it ends. That's how it was in that little circle spot. And soon as I threw that up, that little glob up, I felt better. It was literally like a size of a tennis ball. And that was it. And I felt so much better. And I'm like, wow, like, that was weird. Like, I'm just like, was that right there my confirmation not to do yoga anymore? I was so sleepy. Like, I was so tired. My energy was like drained. And I'm trying to like go back to sleep, and I'm having a hard time. I felt myself like dozing, and every time that I was dozing, I would like quickly wake back up because like it was like I felt myself drifting again. And this happened like multiple times throughout the night. So like 2 o'clock in the morning comes, and this guy, he calls me, and we talk for a little bit. And he's like, why are you up? And I tell him, I didn't tell him the full story. I just told him that that I just like had an outer body experience. I felt my body, like my soul leave my body. And, you know, he was like, maybe you were like floating or whatever. And I was like, I hate that stuff, you know. And we were just talking, and, you know, he said whatever he had to say to me. And then we got off the phone. We only talked, I don't even think we talked that long. It was probably like a half hour or so because he was sick. And so he was like, he kept telling me like, you know, you just gotta like relax, like go back to sleep. You need sleep. Your fear is preventing you from sleeping. And I was like, okay, like I'll try to go to sleep or whatever. And then that's how we got off the phone. Yeah. You know, I ended up falling back to sleep eventually. And after that, that was like the end, and I never did yoga again. Sometimes I have my moments where it's like something is telling me like, oh, I could do yoga, you know, just do it as like a stretch or whatever. I even told my mom. She was like, maybe you could still like do it, but like just look at it in a sense of stretching. And I said, Mom, like technically that's what I was doing, looking at it in a sense of letting me clear my mind and stretching like as a fitness thing. And she's like, but you know, they say that you can't clear your mind, you know? And I'm like, yeah. And I was like, I feel like that's why I was in that predicament where I couldn't get out of my mind. Because maybe God just didn't want me to. Because had I really kept clearing my mind, then God knows where I would be, you know. And I told my mom, I said, you know, what I feel like happened that night? I feel like God came right on time and woke me up. Because if he didn't, I probably would have been trapped. I feel like what happened was there was a spirit, an evil spirit that possibly wanted my body, like wanted to get inside and take over. And then my soul would just be lingering around. And I think this, whatever this was right here, just lingering around and was waiting for that perfect opportunity. But God came and saved me really quickly. And I know this sounds so crazy and it's so hard to believe, but y'all, when y'all experience things, or when y'all see things, man, like, you know, God will show you if you ask for clarity. And sometimes when you go through things in life, like you will be surprised what you see. These demons feed off your energy and like anger and things like that. And that's why before I was experiencing the paranormal stuff, like my friend tweeted me when I was talking about on Twitter, I was like, I'm never doing yoga again and blah blah blah. And I told her like a bit of what happened, and she was like, but yeah, you always, you know, you see stuff all the time. And I'm like, but I haven't experienced that in years. When I forgave that person who really hurt me the most, I stopped experiencing paranormal stuff. I was good. Now all of a sudden, I'm doing yoga and this happens. Like, I asked God for clarity and this happens. Like, and I get it. It's hard to believe just in general because I was those people, but you're doing things that you don't know. Everything we do in this world, even the music we listen to, there is so much meaning behind it, so much evil, even if it's Christian music. Like, there's so much, and we're subconsciously singing these songs and giving praises, and we don't know who we're actually praising to. So I mean, I'm not trying to preach or anything like that. I just really wanted to come on here and let you guys know what happened to me. If you're considering doing yoga, if you're worried, like, should Christians be doing yoga or not, I just wanted to come on and share my personal experience. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. Until next time, love ya. Bye.